Okay, have you guys ever had the experience when you have a holiday or a weekend or summer break and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get so much stuff done, and then like you write down the schedule of all the things you're gonna do, and then when you're doing that day of, like, you get nothing done. It's more like you miss like one item on your schedule and then like everything else falls apart and you spend the entire day catching up. Or you're like wasting your time watching YouTube or Facebook or something like that, or playing video games. Yeah, you relate, right? So I'm going to talk about the difference between working at home versus working in the school or in the office. So my name is Chris Chien with Project Lifecoach, and for the past like 3 or 4 years I've been a freelancer. I've been working at home and stuff, so I specialized and I realized working at home is really different from being at school or at an office. The main difference for me is when I am at school or at an office where people are around me, I don't have to have that much willpower because there's people who are watching me work, so I'm like, oh, okay, I have to work. So I don't really have to focus so much on my schedule. People are doing my schedule for me. However, when I'm at home, it's like it's already hard enough to do your homework and do your work, but you also have to keep track of your schedule. That's like an additional job. So I actually developed a different way. I don't do schedules at home. A lot of people are all like, oh, from 6 to 8 a.m. I work out, and then at 10 p.m. I do this, and at 12 I do that, and at 2 p.m. every day I take my morning meditate, whatever. You know, it's like that shit does not work for me. It's so like dumb. Like, it's not effective if you're working at home. So what is your technique? Basically, I have a post-it note and I list 3 things that I want to do that day. The 3 most important things here is exercise, legend brush, and upload my May YouTube reflection thing. If you want to do more than 3 things, you can always group them in categories, or after you finish those 3 things, do something else. I use the sticky note technique. I always use sticky notes. That works for me. You should try it out. If you're not sure what to put on your list of 3 things to do, I always treat every day like, okay, if I were to die today, like seriously, if you were to die today, what are the 3 things you want to do? Okay, and so this list of 3 things, it doesn't just include your work items. It also includes maybe if you are hanging out with a friend, if you are working out, or if you want to whatever, just concentrate on those 3 things. Get those 3 things done. It could be even 1 thing to make it easier. 3 is a number that works for me. Working. Recently, I've been working at an office, and when I was working at the office, I was like, oh, I'm so productive, I'm getting so many things done. And when I go home, I try to apply the same technique to working at home, and everything falls apart. Oh, and tip, you should do this the night before. So when you wake up, you already have a list of your 3 things you want to do. If you finish it, then you can always make another list of 3 things. But yeah. Alright, so what did you guys think of this video? I don't want to give advice because I have no idea, what's going on in your life. But I like to teach. I want to teach what I'm doing and what works for myself, and it's completely true for me. I'm just teaching what works for me. What works for you, I don't know. But Project Life Coach, it's about learning, investigating, and a lot of people give these productivity tips to the people who work at home, and I find that a lot of that shit just doesn't work. And this is something else I want to add to the conversation, that like, hey, like your stuff, it works for you when you're in an office or you have deadlines or whatever. But when you have a super free schedule like spring break or summer break, or you're working or you're unemployed, and then you need to get a job and stuff, and there's no pressure, it can be a lot harder. It's really different. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation. I know what it's like to be unemployed, and it's a really different working style than when you do have a lot of pressure. It can be just as hard and difficult. All right, so good luck with everything. Leave your comments below.